Hello everyone and welcome to another battle of the week. And yes, you may have noticed that there was no battle of the week last week. Well, that's just because there was no battle worthy of the title last week. And there's only ever going to be a battle of the week if there is a battle worthy of the title. But that's pretty much self-explanatory, I guess. And yes, this battle definitely deserves title the Battle of the Week because it's very interesting. Sadly, it is very interesting for wrong reasons, and it is because it showcases a lot of things that concern me about the whole arena. And those are, yes, you've guessed it, heavy artillery, but also stakes, approach to friendly fire, balanced encounters, and mainly, at least in this video, map design. So these are also all the things that I have already provided plenty of feedback about, but about some of them I haven't really made a video about yet. I pointed those issues out on my streams, provided plenty of examples both on streams and in my feedback. It just doesn't get attention apparently, so hopefully for this video maybe these issues will start to get track, and I'll also try to provide some solutions at the end. There's plenty of solutions that can be applied to solve all these problems. I'm just gonna point out some of them because if I were to list them all, the video will probably like 30 to 40 minutes long, and who would watch that, right? So anyway, here we see elephants pushing in. That's what elephants do, because they don't have pretty much anything to fear, right? And it's like one player that has to be focused by 4 to 5 players, and he's doing pretty much fine, and he's doing his job, while also doing quite a lot of damage. And here's my first issue with heavy artillery. It's a random accuracy, ability to deal huge amount of damage to these elephants, while dealing close to no friendly fire. Speaking of friendly fire, we're just being idiots, so don't mind us. So you can see that artillery, because it fires only a single rock with a random accuracy, it flips a coin. Whether it hits the elephant for a huge amount of damage, it doesn't hit Jojo at all, or just barely, or it misses, or it just hits Jojo for a huge amount of damage and doesn't hit the elephant. And that's the problem, because it's down to luck. He's either unlucky or lucky. There's no skill involved. He just right clicks and hopes for the best. See? Like, he hit that elephant with 1 or 2 rocks right now, and dealt close to no damage to this cavalry. 3 units that were surrounding these elephants. Well, 1 elephant. Now he hit that elephant and knocked down 6 of Jojo's people. So, yeah. That's one issue. Artillery, there's plenty more. Speaking of other issues, here are some mistakes. We're gonna talk about them a bit later. So, at this point of the battle, we are... Hey guys! It's like 3 minutes into the battle, and we've only spotted 3 players. That elephant player is already dead, and these 2 cavalry players. Blue Dog and... yeah. So, well, the correct guess is they're camping. The question is where. You could have camped here, so yeah, we aren't going to push into here because that means crossing the river into the swamp. Well, they have very good fortified positions that they have plenty of time to set up in. So we go where we know there is well, no enemies. We scouted that area, stakes, and we know that there's nothing in here or here, right? So we can safely go here, support our cavalry, kill their cavalry, and then work our way up here to the enemy base. We also see that they have watchtowers, so that tells us something. So yeah, that's the issue with map design. Just look at this. Here's a good fortified position, here a good fortified position, here, 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 and that's the same case for this side of the map. And you know what these things have in common? What these positions have in common? They are all next to or on top of spawn points. So they are given to you for free. You don't have to fight for them, you just have them. And both sides have them. And what's in the middle to fight for? The river? The valley? Tall grass? Swamp? No thanks. But this is the shittiest position. That should be the other way around. Shitty positions should be next to the base, and good positions should be in the middle, so that you have incentive to fight for them. And then once you win that fight, you have the reward of having good positions and enemy being in shit position, and then you can push your advantage. Because, well, that's what you deserve, because you won the fight for the middle. And, well, that's like pretty simple design, like binary design. You can obviously throw some things, give them a chance to come back with other positions, etc, etc. But that's, as I said, it's really deep into the map design. Okay, so here we are, back to heavy artillery. So this guy can now shoot us, but now he sees that we are approaching, right? So what he can do is he can pack up, as our artillery player did, because he has nothing to shoot at. This guy has plenty of things to shoot at, but he is also threatened by my slingers and this infantry here, which means that he is soon going to die. The problem is that he can just pack up and set up back here, for example. And then, well, we already had to push through multiple layers of defense. Well, yes, there was not that much of defense here, but it could have been. And there are still some defense in terms of cavalry and now this infantry and slingers that we have to eliminate first before we get to artillery. Just need to get rid of this one here. Well, luckily this heavy artillery player doesn't pack up and doesn't force us to go through another multi-layer defense. So we are lucky. Our heavy artillery is here. Yeah, not very smart choice. Anyway. So look, here we have stakes, another issue. So the issue with stakes is that the red team, or the team that uses the stakes, can move around in freely. And if you fight in stakes, you have two choices. You either right-click the stakes or right-click the enemy unit. If you right-click the stakes, then you are damaging the stakes, you're not getting that bonus melee attack against the enemy, and the enemy gets to pretty much fully hit you because your unit doesn't really want to fight them because you order them to hit the stakes. If you order them to hit the unit, then as your unit wins the fight, if it wins the fight, and starts pushing into or just like moving around in melee, it impales itself on stakes and is being dealt damage to. So either way, it's not really fair. Well, then yes, obviously, well, one side has stakes, the other one doesn't, so well, obviously the side with stakes should have an advantage. Maybe, but not this kind of advantage. And oh look, pretty much half of the enemy team comes in the base. They are doing the right thing. Look, it's a very good fortified position with 1, 2, 3 entrances that they can really just barricade and stake off. Also like multiple layers of stakes, multiple layers of stakes, which creates this very good zone of control within which the red team can freely move around, go behind the stakes, escape through the other side, flank someone, do whatever the hell they want. Well, the blue team can't do shit. They have very restricted movement in here, like forcing the narrow corridors, have to remove these stakes one by one if they ever want to do anything, really. All this while being either shot at by javelins or being attacked in melee. And there's no way to force this team out of this position, because that's their base. If their base was in like a shithole, by the way, finally good movement, good move by our artillery player, which you're gonna get to in a second. So if their base was like in a shithole, they have a choice. Yes, you can fortify in your base and defend your base, But by doing so, you are giving up the good position, or do the other way around, fortify in a good position, but you are risking that the enemy team will start capping your base, and you'll have to move, you'll have to answer, you'll have to decap. Because there's no punishment for that, because they can camp in here, have all these advantages, while not giving up anything. And that's their base, that's on top of their spawning positions. They didn't have to fight for it. They were just given that, and they decided to realize the Bob the Builder fantasy. So yeah, that's another issue with map design, giving these fortified bases with walls or on high ground. The buildings are actually fine, but yeah, that's too deep to discuss about. So we have artillery. That guy, remember, started here, then moved to here, then moved to here, so he can shoot while he sees there's literally no threat that can be applied to him. Still has infantry with him though. So back on Steam, when the mobility was gone, the issue of this playstyle wasn't there. Ooh, nice teleport. So yeah, because you can push like that with artillery, I mean, back up and redeploy very quickly, it means that there is always low risk, high reward gameplay for you. There's no choice between low risk, low reward or high risk, high reward like it was on Steam, where the mobility is gone. Now you can just deploy in a very fortified position, shoot whatever is available. Once the targets are gone, move to another, rinse and repeat, move to another, right? And back then, you either risked, you either risk camping behind a cliff, or not really risked. You have that safe position of camping behind a cliff and being able to shoot at enemies incoming, but once you've killed them and you actually have to push in order to be able to do anything, that would take a lot of time. Or you could have, from the very beginning, start attacking, and you would risk a lot because you would be exposed to enemy attacks by a large margin, but you would be able to support your team pretty much anywhere where the terrain allows for it, at least. So yeah, that's a lot of issues that I've talked about. Now it's time for simple solutions. I'm willing to discuss them fully in the comment section, because I don't want this video to get too long. So, in terms of stakes, they were kind of acceptable when they dealt friendly fire. They would need to have highlights, because they are invisible with Dogra, so that's just not fair. Again, not going to get too deep into it. Yeah, they would need highlights, damage, even less I would say, and deal friendly fire again. So that's the way stakes can be acceptable, but to be honest, easier and possibly better solution is just to remove stakes from the game, because they're not really bringing anything positive. So that's stakes. In terms of map design, well, pains me really much because Teutoburg Forest is one of the newest maps. Only Oasis and Capua are newer maps than Teutoburg Forest. Teutoburg Forest is like one of the worst, if not the worst map in Arena. It has already been slightly reworked, but to fix Teutoburg Forest, you would nearly need like a complete overhaul, because this map is just badly designed to its very core. Or there's another solution that I have suggested ever since the Steam days: dojos. So dojos would give you something to fight for in the middle, right? At least in a map like this, because on a map like Georgovia, actually, you are punished for camping in the base or in your spawn points, and you are rewarded with better positions for going to the middle, but you have to fight for these positions with the other team. So you have to fight for good positions, so that then you are able to use these good positions to keep fighting and have an advantage that you have rightfully fought for. So, in Shogun 2, there was a map with a very similar design to Teutoburg Forest. It was much simpler design, but similar. It was just a steep hill on both sides, and a valley in a river in the middle. pretty much the same as Step 2 before, it's just less detailed, just steep hill, nothing much. But there were dojos in the middle, so you either gave up the dojos and gained advantageous terrain, or you got the dojos, or you camped and gave up the dojos, right? And dojos were providing different bonuses, like either more morale, better attack, better defense, more armor, whatever. So that's also one of the solutions. Well, I hope that maybe when they finally bring Japan to the game that they have promised over a year ago, not over, almost a year ago, then we'll get dojos with the release of Japan. I really hope for it, because that would help such bad maps as Tutup Forest. It will also introduce a new gameplay mode, or just replace the standard one, which is one thing that people yearn for, just introduce some breath of fresh air into the game. In terms of artillery, well, you know, there's a shit ton of feedback that I have provided, and well, if you want to read on that, there's a thread on Reddit, and I've talked about artillery on very multiple occasions. So I think that would be it. Well, come to the comments, share your thoughts. I'm really willing to listen to them. Maybe we'll get attention and finally get to solutions, because that's the most important part. See you in the next battle of the week.